Hello everyone, FPL Willem here. In this video I will show you guys early thoughts on the Champions League, Game Week 3 and beyond. I will show you guys my favorite teams, my favorite players and a bit of a head-to-head. So, let's get into it. So, to start off with all the targets, these are 12 teams and these 12 teams are AC Milan, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Atalanta, Atletico Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, Benfica, Girona, Juventus, Manchester City, Monaco and PSG. I will take you guys through these 12 teams, where their strong and weak points are. I will also put in timestamps per team, so if you don't like Atalanta you can skip to Atletico Madrid, so on. Now the reasoning I'm not picking or including teams like Barca or Inter and maybe others like Liverpool is because of the following reasons. They have a bad first game. You don't want to pick a player or a new transfer with a bad first game, and maybe they have 2 or 3 games after if they have a good first game with bad fixtures. So you want to think a bit of a long term. If you think a team should be in here, then I would like to hear that from you in the comments. But without further ado, let's start with AC Milan. So to start off with AC Milan. AC Milan have Brugge at home, Real Madrid away, Bratislava away and Red Star at home. I will show you guys in every single slide these 3 squares with orange, yellow or green. Green means best, yellow means second best, and orange, I think I don't have red, but orange is, well, the worst probably. As you can see here, AC Milan have not the greatest defending options, basically because they only kept 2 clean sheets in 9 matches, including the Champions League, and these were against number 17 and number 20 in the league. So clean sheets aren't their thing. Midfielders are great, and the attackers are also, yeah, it's basically one player, which I will show you now, and that attacker is Leao. The problem with Leao is Pulisic plays on the other side of the field and he gets more returns, yeah, for now. And the strikers Tammy Abraham and Morata aren't hitting it off yet. But if you're gonna choose, if you have trust in Leao with 9 million, you can choose him. In the defending option, I said they don't keep a lot of clean sheets, but Theo Hernandez has a lot of attacking returns in assists and in goals, so there's probably a great option to pick from. And Pulisic is maybe my favorite pick from here, as he's only 7.5. He's a midfielder and he scored already against Liverpool in the Champions League. He got quite close in the Leverkusen game and he scored like 5 goals in the league with 2 assists there, so there's a lot of returns for Pulisic, maybe a bit under the radar. But yeah, let's move on to Arsenal. So as I said, up next, Arsenal have some great fixtures against Shakhtar at home, Inter away, Sporting away and Monaco at home. Now Inter away might not sound great on paper, but the other 3s, there's a lot of at least goal potential, but I feel like in Inter away there's at least a clean sheet potential as well, as is for the other games of course. Shakhtar played at home against Atalanta. They couldn't even score against Atalanta, so I don't expect them to score against Arsenal. I filled in all 3 boxes green, as they have great options in every department. And in the defending department they have Gabriel and Saliba. They got a lot of ball recoveries. It's a bit difficult to predict ball recoveries against Shakhtar, because they will have most of the ball, at least in the game against Shakhtar, as I said. So ball recoveries won't really be there, but there's a clean sheet potential of course. And in the midfield you have Saka, penalty taker, lots of goals, lots of assists, don't really need to add on about him that much. And in the attacking department we have Havertz, who I feel like he's nicking in some goals here and there. It's not the worst option. I feel like he mostly scores against a bit of a lesser teams like Shakhtar and Monaco, but still a great option. So up next, Aston Villa. So up next is Aston Villa. Aston Villa play at home against Bologna, away against Club Brugge. Then you might want to drop them as they play at home against Juventus and away against Leipzig. Now they've shown it already against Bayern München, so why can't they show it against Juventus and Leipzig? But maybe there was a one-off. But at least those first 2 games you want to pick them out. Defenders are quite difficult to pick. They haven't really attacking backs and their central defenders aren't all too great. Clean sheets are, well, possible in the first 2 games. Don't expect them against Juventus and Leipzig. Midfielders are great, and attacking department with Watkins is also great. So I've picked out at least from every department. So in the department in defenders / goalkeepers, I've gone with Martinez. He had a great game against Bayern Munich. He had a great game against Manchester United. A lot of saves. He does get a bit annoying. Often he gets like a yellow card for time wasting in the end, but yeah, still a great keeper. Tielemans in the midfield. Not sure if he's on penalty, possibly McGinn, but I think he's second if McGinn gets subbed off. He scored last game. No, not last game, but against Young Boys. He got man of the match. He had a great game. He often makes around 88 minutes, or at least close to 90. So great pick. And last but not least, it's Watkins. You could put in Duran there as well, as Duran, when he gets subbed on, he just scores. Same in the Premier League. He never starts, but when he subs on, he just scores. But Watkins had an amazing season last season. So I had to put him in, and especially against Bologna and Club Brugge, there are lots of potential for goals and assists for him. So up next is Atalanta. Atalanta have great 3 games with Celtic at home, Stuttgart away and Young Boys away. Last is Real Madrid at home, so you might want to transfer them out then, but maybe you want a limitless then or wildcard. But they have great defenders, as they've shown against Shakhtar with a 3-0 clean sheet and lots of ball recoveries there. Midfielders are great as well, and the attacking department is a bit difficult to choose as their minutes get shared over time. But to show you guys 3 options there. Zappacosta, great defender, lots of ball recoveries, and he has the odd assist in him as well. He's an upcoming back, so potential there. Lookman, man of the match award last game against Shakhtar. He had 1 goal. He got exactly substituted on the 60th minute. I was kind of upset he got substituted, but 60th minute, okay, he got, as I said, the man of the match award, and he got a goal and an assist. And with the forward, Retigui, I don't know, I had to put in someone. Retigui does take the penalties. He still does take the penalties, even if he missed against Arsenal. He's only 5.5 million. I hope he makes a lot of minutes, but it's shown yet he only plays like 60 to 70 minutes, but there can be a lot of damage done in those 60 or 70 minutes, and he's only 5.5. So I feel like that's still a great pick, but the standout is Lookman, if you want to pick one of these 3 guys. So, following for Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid have some alright fixtures with Lille at home, then it's a bit more difficult with Paris away, and then Slavia Prague away, and then Slovan Bratislava at home. So only Paris will be a bit more difficult, but I feel like Slovan Bratislava, Slavia Prague and Lille, their potential. Defenders aren't doing as great as they used to, but still there's one option which is great, especially for ball recoveries, which I will show you in a minute. Midfielders, yeah, I have no clue what to pick there. I can't choose them yet. They haven't done anything special in La Liga, and they haven't done anything special in the Champions League. And in the attacking department, there's only one option, but you can see it's a green option. It's a great option. I think you will guess it, as I will show you guys now. In the defending department is Jimenez. Jimenez had, I think, last game 10 ball recoveries. He still lost 4-0 against Benfica it was, but he still had 10 ball recoveries, so that at least got like 5 points. Losing 5-0 as a defender, but still getting 5 points is great. I expect doing better against Lille, Slovan, Bratislava and Slavia Prague. And Griezmann, always a great option. He scored against, who did they play in the first game? Red Bull Leipzig. And I think he got an assist and man of the match award, so that's great. He didn't do anything against Benfica, but nobody did. And I expect a lot more with Lille at home, Slovan Bratislava at home and Slavia Prague away. Maybe some odd goal with Paris Saint-Germain away, but I feel like there's only 2 good picks here, and that's these 2 guys. So finally we're moving on to the letter B with Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen play against Brest away, Liverpool away, Red Bull Salzburg at home and Inter at home. So 2 difficult fixtures, but still possible for goals, at least returns there. And I feel like with Brest and Salzburg, I feel like they're gonna hammer them. They have great defenders, great midfielders. Attacking department is a bit more difficult, as same with Atalanta. Minutes are shared between 2 players. And I will show you guys my favorite defenders and 1 midfielder. So my favorite defenders are Grimaldo and Frimpong. Reasoning behind them is they have so many assist threats, even goal threats. They're basically kind of the same player, just on the other side of the pitch. But it's kind of a coin toss. If you pick Frimpong, it will probably be Grimaldo who gets assist. If you pick Grimaldo, you will probably get Frimpong assist. That's basically how UCL fantasy always works. But it's a coin toss. You can get lucky, you can get unlucky. And last with Weirts, he got a man of the match award last game. He didn't do all that much. I didn't watch the game, so I gotta admit, I don't know, I'm not quite sure. But he didn't get a goal or an assist. He got 3 ball recoveries, but he got a man of the match award. So he probably did something right. Still star boy, so a lot of possibilities for returns. So up next is Benfica. I feel like Benfica is kind of a dark horse, especially after that 4-0 game against Atletico Madrid. They do have one incredibly difficult fixture, and that's against Bayern München. But they start off with Feyenoord at home. Now Feyenoord are quite weak this season, at least in conceding goals. Then it's Bayern München away, Monaco away, and Bologna at home. Now Monaco having an all-time great there as well, and Bologna at home. I expect if they can score 4 goals against Atletico Madrid, who used to be a great defending team, they have possibilities to score goals against all these teams. Now, in the defending department, I couldn't really find someone who was all too great for Benfica, but in the midfielding and attacking department, they have some great opportunities there, especially with 4-0 against, I said it 3 times now, but 4-0 against Atletico Madrid. It's still an insane score, so I have to say it 3 times. But in the defending department, they have one okay player, and they don't have attacking threats, but Alexander Ba, he got a lot of, I don't know how many, but he got a lot of ball recovery, so that's a great pick. He does in the league get rotated with another player, but he played all 2 games, 90 minutes in the last 2 games, so that's a possibility, especially with ball recoveries. Now next to him is Kokcu. Kokcu got Man of the Match award, and he scored a goal and an assist, so great player to pick from there. Only 5.6 million, and in the attacking department, I'm not even going to pronounce his name, but a great forward, only 6.1 million. He got a goal, he got even some ball recoveries. I feel like he got 3 ball recoveries, and he still a great pick. He's smashing it in the league as well. So Aktürkoğlu, close enough. So up next is Girona, and I can totally understand the question that why would you put Girona in here? Now Girona has had a difficult fixture against PSG, which they almost kept a clean sheet, and I expect a lot more against Feyenoord, but they lost 3-2 against Feyenoord, but they did score 2 goals. It was a crazy game. I don't know if you watched it. Would be worth a rewatch. But their fixtures are against Slovan Bratislava at home, which is basically the worst team. Which doesn't mean they're a bad team, but the worst team in the Champions League. Everyone can score goals against them. As Celtic won like 5-1, and they lost 7-1. Celtic then against Dortmund. So that kind of means a lot that even the lesser teams like Celtic score 5 against Slovan. Then up next is PSV away, Sturm Graz away, and Liverpool at home. Now the last way you want to avoid, of course, but I do want to put them in. Sturm Graz is, I feel like maybe the second worst in this case, but PSV away, there were a lot of potential for at least goals, and in the first game a clean sheet. So I couldn't really find all yellow. Yeah, that's kind of contradictory, but I couldn't find any outstanding players, so they're all yellow. I couldn't quite find, at least in the attacking department, a great player. So I've gone with 2 picks this time, which is Gazaniga. He kept 2 penalties against Bilbao in the league, and he kept 1 penalty against Feyenoord, so that's basically 3 penalties in 1 week. Doesn't mean he's gonna keep out the next penalty if they get a penalty, but it does say a lot. He almost got the clean sheet against Paris Saint-Germain, if not for that last minute blunder. So there is clean sheet potential and at least some save potentials. And last is Bryan Gil. He is basically more of an enabler. He's only 4.5 million yet, almost 2 assists in the last game. He doesn't have any returns yet, but I feel like against Slovan Bratislava, PSV and Sturm Graz, he has some potential to get at least some returns. So next up is the old lady, Juventus. Juventus play against Stuttgart at home, Lille away, Aston Villa away, and Manchester City at home. So the first 2 fixtures are great. Third fixture will be a bit more difficult, and the 4th fixture you just want to avoid. Now, they have great defenders. Midfielders are a bit more difficult. They had some great chances, but they haven't resulted in goals or assists yet. Even in the league, they haven't really resulted in goals or assists yet. And the attacking department, I think you guys will know which player I will put in, so I will make it quick and short. Starting off with the defender department, Cambiasso and Gatti. Cambiasso has scored a goal, doesn't really get a lot of ball recoveries, but if you want to go for more attacking threat, you can put in 5.5 for Cambiasso. Gatti is basically the replacement for Bremer. Bremer got injured for the rest of the season, so he's nailed. He got in the, what was it, 80 minutes he played, he got 12 or 11 ball recoveries, and in the first game he played 60 minutes and he got 6 ball recoveries there. So with 40 minutes extra, or 35, something like that, he will probably get 3 more in there. So that's a great defending picks there, with great first 2 games against Stuttgart and Lille. So clean sheet potential there as well. And last but not least, you have Vlahovic. He scored 2, he got man of the match. I was thinking about putting in Lewandowski or Vlahovic, and I can remember saying when Lewandowski scored 2, I'm so glad I've picked Lewandowski, and then the day after Vlahovic scored 2 and he got man of the match. So yeah, a bit upset there, but couldn't be all too mad with Lewandowski scoring 2 goals. But yeah, all these picks, great picks. Yeah, let's check the next one. Now, Manchester City. Now, before I show you guys the teams, it's incredibly important to know Pep Roulette. This means every player I will show you is not guaranteed to start. With most of the teams I've shown you before and after, the players I show you will start. Mostly like 90% of the time. But with Pep Roulette it's a bit more difficult to predict. Especially in the first game against Sparta Prague, as you guys will see on the left. Their first game is on, or their game is on the Wednesday. That means they play on the last game day, match day, of game week 3. And if they don't play, you basically get 0 points. And you can't substitute them out for another player. And another player with more points won't be substituted in. After that, they have Sporting away, Feyenoord at home, and Juventus away. They play on the Tuesday then. So if your player won't play, then you can at least substitute them out for another player. But I find it important to know, at least in the first game, they play on the Wednesday and they're not guaranteed to start. Maybe Haaland. Maybe that's a guarantee. But yeah, all great picks, defenders, midfielders, attackers. They're loaded with players, and that's the problem there as well. As I said, they're loaded, so everyone can play there. I've put in these 3 players. Rico Lewis, he played every game in the Premier League and in Champions League. He's only 4.6. He's risen 0.1. He's a defender, of course. He got an assist and a clean sheet. Yeah, basically a great player. I don't know if it's a good thing he played all the games or it's a bad thing that he played all the games. So maybe he gets a game off against Sparta Prague, but yeah, maybe not. Phil Foden there, only played 2 games, not 1, but 1 game in the Champions League and 1 game in the Premier League against Fulham, and in Champions League against Slovan Bratislava. He was man of the match against Slovan Bratislava with a goal and an assist. Yeah, great player. I expect him to get some game time against Sparta Prague, and maybe with some returns there as well. And last but not least, it's Haaland. I feel like Haaland is the most guaranteed. The thing with Haaland is that he often gets substituted in 60 minutes if the game is set and done against lesser teams, as he was against Slovan Bratislava. He got 1 goal. Still okay, but you hope he gets more against, or at least in the next fixtures. But he is more certain, but there's a big chance he will get substituted out against the lesser teams like Sparta Prague and Feyenoord. So up next is Monaco, and before you guys skip it, it might be worth it to at least have a look at the players I've picked. They've done horrible against Zagreb. They've played 2-2, where I expected a lot more. It was pouring out there and the field was horrible, so maybe that's a bit of better play for Zagreb instead of Monaco. And they won 2-1 against a 10-man Barcelona, but they still conceded against a 10-man Barcelona, so I don't know if that's great or if it's just a 10-man Barcelona. But I do expect better against Red Star at home, Bologna away, and maybe Benfica at home. At least it's at home. The last one is Arsenal away. You just want to transfer them out, or limitless, or whatever you want to do. I couldn't find great players, but I did find 2 players who have lots of ball recoveries, and that's Kerrer and Zakaria. Kerrer is a defender. He had 10 ball recoveries against Zagreb, around 10 ball recoveries, and he had 8 against a 10-man Barcelona. And Zakaria is a midfielder, defending midfielder. He does take penalties, important to know, and he has a lot of ball recoveries there as well. So, once again, not the most expensive, but don't expect all too much. Now, last but not least is Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain had some okay games. They had a lot of chances against Girona. They only won 1-0 with a last minute blunder from the keeper, but they did have a lot of chances. Just can't finish them yet. And against Arsenal, they were, I feel like Arsenal was just too good. They had the lowest amount of XG they've ever had in the Champions League, but that's more because of Arsenal's great defending. But for PSG, I expect a lot in the next few fixtures. They play against PSV at home, Atletico Madrid at home, Bayern Munich away, and Red Bull Salzburg away. And I expect at least in the 2 games against PSV and Salzburg, a lot of goals. At least 2, let's say at least 2 per game. And maybe some clean sheets there as well. And even with Atletico Madrid, as I said before, 4-0 against Benfica. I have PSG higher than Benfica, so I expect at least some goals there as well. Maybe some clean sheets, or maybe a clean sheet against Atletico as well, and Bayern Munich, yeah. Bit more difficult, but I feel like the players I will show you guys in a minute will be great. As you guys can see, attackers, I can't really find attackers there. The attackers they have are injured, and in the defending department they have great players, and in the midfield department they have great players as well. In the defending department I've gone with 2 players, with Hakimi and Pacho. With Hakimi, probably everyone knows him. Attacking threat is insane. He gets some ball recoveries there as well, and he's a 5.5 mil. Pacho, I didn't know the guy, I'm gonna be honest with him. I looked the stats up and he had a lot of ball recoveries there. If he keeps a clean sheet against PSV or Red Bull Salzburg, that means that's 6 points with 60 minutes there as well. And if he gets like 12 ball recoveries, which he had against Girona at least, he gets a 10-pointer easily there. And last but not least is Dembele. Dembele didn't play the first game, so that's maybe, or the second game I mean, against Arsenal. So that's maybe a bit of an attacking threat, put off there. But Dembele has still a lot of great attributes, a lot of great attacking threats with assists and goals. And I expect him to put in some goals against PSV and or Salzburg. Maybe the other 2 as well, but these 2 games are a bit better than the other games. So I wanted to end it off with this target slide. I've put in the 12 teams I've picked with the remaining 6 fixtures, so you guys can see why I've picked them, at least fixture wise. If you have any questions about teams that aren't, or why they aren't in here, you can put them in the comment section. If you have any other questions, you can still put them in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, that means a lot to me. Same goes for subscribing, that means a lot to me as well. I've already hit 50, which I didn't even expect to do it this first 10 weeks I've been doing this, so that means a lot to me. As I said, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye bye.